It is cosmic justice that a journalist is having the final say about the Epstein files and Donald Trump's scandal of cover up around it. Katie Phang, in her lawsuit, is representing not just the First Amendment, not
This is very bad what is happening right now because, I mean, watch this video.
just the freedom of the press, not just the fourth estate
Yep.
or the fourth branch of government, which Donald Trump hates, calls it the enemy of the people. Well, the enemy of the people is kicking his ass in a courtroom
Yep. This is what it is. This is what it is.
involving the Epstein files, and that includes Todd Blanche.
Yeah.
Got some recent developments in Katie Phang's case that don't bode well for Donald Trump nor for Todd Blanche, who are heading into the buzzsaw of a contempt proceeding by Judge.
Now see, we get the GTA 6 game leaker arrested in a day, but we cannot get the Epstein file people's arrested in like a year now, a year and so many months now. What is happening?
Emmett Sullivan, and the appointment of a special master to take over the review of the documents and the production of 3 more million files of Epstein files, including a lot with Donald Trump's name on it. We know that Donald Trump's name appears more times in the Epstein files than Jesus does in the
Yep, then Jesus does in the Bible. Okay.
Bible, and more times than Harry Potter does in the Harry Potter series.
Yeah,
We
this is
cover
what
it,
it is.
give you the analysis and the update about the Katie Phang lawsuit right here on Legal AF Podcast.
This is absolutely true right now. Donald Trump comes in a Jeffrey Epstein files is a one big hell of thing. One big.
And here's our analysis.
Let's talk Katie Phang from the Midas Touch Network, developments in her federal lawsuit under the Epstein Transparency Act following the hearing, which we previously.
This is what is happening. Judge shows sign of fraudulent frustration with DOJ attorneys over handling of Epstein files. They were doing it.
Talked about last week, where Judge Sullivan not too happy with what the DOJ was trying to sell him. I think the Judge Sullivan, a very wise jurist, knew what was going on there. Let's talk about Don Lemon, where the federal judge in that case is saying, yeah, we don't really trust what went down in that grand jury.
This is what judge is saying. Judge orders full review of grand jury materials in St. Paul Church protest case. That's what
room, and we've been seeing grand jury misconduct permeate the entire federal judiciary with the Trump regime U.S. attorneys and their AUSAs going into these grand jury rooms and just like lying about the law and vouching and saying, just come on, can you just sign this document?
This is what they're doing. They putting pressure on a judge. Can you imagine this thing? On a judge, pressure.
In the case of Comey, which we'll talk about in the next segment as well. The first one with Lindsay Halligan, she like gave a different document to the grand jury left, and then she said, "Hey Foreman, can you just sign this one?" And it was like a different document than what was showed, and for her,
I mean, have a totally different document. That's what they're doing. Everything is happening out of hand right here. They're trying to bend the things.
the benefit for Lindsay Halligan was that she was an unlawfully appointed United States attorney, because if they like, that's like the luckiest she ever got.
Yeah.
Because if they would have got to the issues that actually took place in the grand jury room, they would have been exposed for some heinous misconduct.
Very, very heinous misconduct. And this is like what is happening right here, out of mind, not in a line, and everything is fucked up.
Which then brings me to Letitia James, because yet another United States attorney in the Northern District of New York, John Sarcone, he was declared to be an unlawful United States attorney, and his actions attacking Letitia James were attacked by were deemed as unlawful by the Second Circuit Court.
Yeah, that's what happening. Trump presidency breaking legal updates. That's what they're trying to bend every rule here.
Of appeal. So Popak, let's talk about Phang, Lemon, and Letitia.
Yep.
Yeah, all good, and all people that I've either interviewed or I'm about to interview. Next week, I'm going to have Don Lemon on talking about his case. on Legal AF. Brendan Ballou, the lawyer for Katie Phang, and Katie will join me next week as well to talk about
Okay.
developments there again. And I've interviewed Letitia James, of course, as have you, in various places in her role as Attorney General
All
of
right.
New York.
This is a very big and good thing, good initiative I can say about it.
Katie Phang, what's the phrase I'm looking for? The Department of Justice and Todd Blanche are up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. We are watching, even though some commentators haven't figured it out yet because of how nice Judge Sullivan writes his orders. We are watching Judge Sullivan about to lower the boom on Todd Blanche and his lawyer.
We're watching everything. We're watching everything, analyzing on it, and this is going not good.
Andrew Block for contempt of court, and we have moved, I think, a large chunk of real estate closer to the ultimate relief sought by Katie Phang and her Public Integrity Project lawyers, which is not only millions of more documents being released to the American public in the name of the survivors of the.
I mean, this is bad. What is happening? DOJ falls apart right now. This is what happening, and we all can see it.
The Epstein scandal, but that the Department of Justice is ruled to have forfeited their right to control that process. And
they just bending their rights. They do not the rights to do different type of things they are doing in the court, and whatever is involved with a judge.
And to have a federal judge like Sullivan instead install a special master in the form of probably a former federal judge to not only take over the future production, but look back at and audit the prior production and do a full accounting to a
audit, accounting, a production, a federal things. All thing is messed up right here. They're trying to do a very heinous crime, very heinous.
Federal judge. That's how bad things have gone for them. We just had new filings. So we had the hearing that you and I covered last week.
Yep.
I had Adam Klasfeld, All Rise News, in the courtroom, and I had Brendan Ballou also testify or talk to our audience about what he observed in the courtroom, which was Brendan Ballou's Katie Phang.
A new filings. Let's understand about this. A new filings from the previous week.
Lawyer said in his career, and he's been a assistant U.S. attorney, he's never seen the government act this way in a courtroom. And
never seen these. What is happening? Oh my God.
He said was there were just these moments where Andrew Block would just stare down at his podium and this uncomfortable silence for like minutes in answering questions of the judge.
Yes, to the judge, not to anyone. To the judge. A silence of minutes, not 1 minute, multiple, a few minutes.
You know, I called it the close examination of your shoelaces, where you're just, and he couldn't answer basic questions. Andrew Block, by the way, is the pinata of the moment for the Department of Justice. They
DOJ.
trot him out, ill-prepared, willfully blind.
He can't even, a simple question, basic ones, he cannot even answer it.
Doesn't know the answer to questions, answers them wrong, either intentionally or otherwise. They've used him here. They're using him in the Judge Brinkema case about whether the Jan 6 fund and the next day immunity deal that Todd Blanche gave to his boss is legal or not. Same guy in both courts and with the same result. And
I mean, this is kind of messed up. A same guy, a same result. Same guy and same result. So what is happening right now? I cannot get in my head.
And they call right before they submitted their proposed order. You know, it's a bad sign for the Department of Justice when the Judge Sullivan at the end of the hearing in which he used the C word, he said contempt.
He used the C word and said contempt.
And said, it's not a threat. It's a promise. He's already using the contempt word, okay, which is a bad sign.
A very bad sign. If you've been there, you know it. You know it.
Things he doesn't even want to hear from the government about. Like why haven't they, despite court order, translated the foreign language documents?
What?
He doesn't even need new briefing on that or information. He's like, I'm just going to do this subset here. Bring me the evidence to my courtroom as to why you did not produce the handwritten FBI 302 interview notes for the one person who says she was sexually abused at 13 by Donald Trump.
Damn, man. Why not? I mean, a top priority, very heinous crime, very heinous, like code filing, and they're playing it like a children's game. Is it not children's game? Take it seriously, man. What is happening?
Why are those handwritten notes missing? And the reason the handwritten notes are missing
Why?
is obvious from a new filing that Katie just made, which is when you look, as we know from our own practice as lawyers, what you write down in handwritten notes and what you use then to type up the official notes, there's a big delta. There's a big discrepancy.
Very big discrepancy, and that is a bad sign.
Because you make editorial decisions about what, it's not a verbatim transcript from your handwritten notes that you're trying to scribble down. So there is a lot of good stuff in handwritten notes that don't end up in the final 302s.
No, it is like bad things. They gotta do this thing. Why they do not do it? I mean, like something is really screwed up in the backside, in the behind, the back end.
So they produced the 302s for this victim who says she was abused by Donald Trump, interviewed 4 times, demonstrating the credibility the FBI thought that she had.
I mean, like 4 times FBI did this.
But they didn't produce the handwritten notes. What are they hiding?
Something.
And when they had to produce them,
so many things.
They said to the judge, they gave them in a binder to the judge to review.
Yeah.
But the judge asked one question during the
only one question, judge asked. And
the hearing. Mr. Block, has the Department of Justice ever produced handwritten 302s?
Ever?
In the Epstein File Transparency Act
Ever?
production related to typewritten or written 302s. And he said, as to 302s, I don't believe so.
Damn, man, what is happening?
Liar. Wrong. Either intentionally or otherwise.
Okay.
He just misled the court.
Misleading.
Corrected by Katie Phang in a new filing. Notice of court.
Wait a minute. Misleading a court or a judge can be another crime right here. Another crime here.
Filing. Mr. Block, in response to the question, said that other handwritten 302s not involving Donald Trump have not been produced. Wrong.
Very
Here's
wrong.
100 examples from the files of it. And here is one example where you can see the delta, the difference between the handwritten notes and the typewritten notes, which is why we need them. And while you're looking at the files, Judge, in what we call an in-camera review, keep that in mind as to whether their justification for not producing the files that you ordered is legitimate or not. So,
I mean, damn it. I got no words for this. This is like very bad that is happening. Very bad.
So that got filed. You're a liar, pants on fire, about Trump's FBI handwritten notes of an alleged victim. And it goes downhill from there. So now the judge holding on to a proposed draft order.
I mean, they are liars. They're lying everything. They're trying to bend the court case, and this is very bad.
By Katie Phang's side, because the judge said, you draft the order. They were like, oh, should we share it with the other side first? No. I don't trust the other side. You draft the order for my review. So they drafted.
That's what judge said. A judge is saying that do not share with the other side. Just draft it.
Order about what we call the redaction log, the 200,000 pages from the 3 million that were effectively withheld from the American people without appropriate cause, just blacked out. And we all have a working theory that they never contemporaneously prepared that.
Never contemporary.
And so the order says, do you have it? If you don't have it, why don't you have it?
Why?
When did you start it? Why haven't you started it? And we want a declaration under oath from Todd Blanche or somebody with knowledge to support.
Judge really said that he needed a clarification on that.
Apply it. So the judge got these 2 pieces of paper in from Katie's side in the last couple of days. this, you lied about the handwritten notes and the redaction log proposed order and said by the middle of next week, I want a response from the government as to these two pieces of paper before I make my ruling.
Yes, that's what just said. I want some response from these two pieces of paper before I make my ruling. Judge is right here, and he has every right to get all the things to know about when ruling a case because that's what judges are for. That's what they're for.
This ruling is going to be devastating. And the thing that I never want to have lost the forest from the trees when we talk about Katie's case and the importance of Katie's
Yes,
case
yes, yes.
is that what we talk about regularly in updating our audience about the preliminary injunction is only about a small subset of what her lawsuit is about. Okay, it's those 5 categories, but that's not what the case is about. The case is about all of the Epstein files, the
Yes, not about a chunks of Epstein files. It's a whole. It's all of the Epstein files.
millions that we believe exist that were rejected improperly by the review team at the behest of Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche.
Yep.
We want all of it, and we want and Katie wants for us wants the Department of Justice taken out of the equation of reviewing what is left and to re-review what previously was produced.
Yeah, I mean, they really want to do these things, but they are not helping with it on a court case. They're not filing it. They're not filing the draft. They're not have handwritten things, and everything is messed up right here.
And that a special master who's an officer of the court take over this project. That's what she is seeking. That's why they had to move. This is another screw up by the Department of Justice.
Yep.
They didn't file their answer in the
DOJ is doing all this thing. They have not filed the answers in the case.
The answer was due a month ago.
A month.
And they didn't file it. They had to file a motion. I told Brendan, you're nicer than I am. I would have filed a motion for default and let them argue why they missed the deadline.
Why they are missing the deadline? Who? DOJ, Department of Justice are missing it. Okay.
And so they have to answer, which they will, and then they can move for summary judgment on all of these points. But Katie is just hitting home runs with her legal team every day in that courtroom, and it's only going to go worse for the Department of Justice and Todd Blanche following that. So before I turn to Don Lemon, I'll
Yep. Okay, let's sum this up right now, and we get what is the conclusion of it.
You back, Ben.
No, just an honor to have Katie Phang in the network, an honor to have your Popak team at Legal AF who break this down. And, what I love about the Legal AF channel is it's not simply reporting on the news. The people who co-host with you.
Yes, this is not a simply reporting. It's a full analysis and all.
Are the news makers. I mean, they're filing the lawsuits. And so, whereas they would normally in the past have a 2-minute segment and a soundbite on whatever cable news network, they're letting people know on the Legal AF YouTube channel on a day-to-day basis what they're thinking.
We are getting very good updates from the channel right now, and I always support the channel. I always have a very good and great insights about the channel, a great perception.
What the strategy is to the extent they're able to share certain types of strategy and deliberations, but to provide that detailed analysis. Let's go into the next one.
Welcome back. We sit at the intersection of law and politics so you don't have to every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Become a Legal AF podcast subscriber.
Thank you, man. I always support this channel and the very good news and everything about and very true. Not anything as a fake one. We understand the true things. So thank you, subscribe, follow us, and we will meet you in the next video.